Hello everyone, it's Rizwan. Today's story is a wonderful story. It is about girls and early marriages. In other terms, child brides. So today's story is about a girl who wants to study, but her father, who wants to marry her off. Her dreams are shattered, and she is living a life as if she is already dead. So, friends, today's story has a wonderful lesson for all of us. This is something that is happening everywhere, almost everywhere in Pakistan, especially in rural areas. And Pakistan is on the sixth number when it comes to child marriages or early marriages. Though there are rules in Pakistan, it's a punishable act if somebody marries any girl or boy under 18. It is a punishable act, but still it is happening in Pakistan, and I'm really sorry to say it happens often in our own province, Sindh. Now, before we proceed and read and listen to the story, let's go to Philip, who is talking about the story.
My friend Rizwan has written many stories about his life. He also writes about the lives of other people in Asia. In one story, he tells of a young girl who wants to become a doctor. Her mother encourages her to study hard because she excels in school. Her mother encourages her to become a doctor. However, when the girl reaches the 9th grade, her father decides it is time for her to become a woman and discontinue her education. Her father finds a husband for her, and she lives a miserable life and does not have the opportunity to become a doctor. Unfortunately, this kind of story is still repeated today in many parts of the world, where men decide how women should live their lives, and the women do not have a way to do the things they really want to do.
Dear friends, there are so many impacts on children's health if they are married at an early age. So I was reading an article which told that many women die because of early pregnancies and because of immature pregnancies because they were married at the early age. So there are so many negative impacts on children's health. So if we continue this practice, actually we are snatching lives from the children. Now let's go and read and listen to the story. We would come back and then we'll go to Joe Todd, who is going to reflect on today's story's themes.
One More Chapter of Injustice. Author Rizwan Ahmed Memon. It was a sunny day. Robbie was so delighted to win the prize in her class for an essay competition. Her teacher told her that he was sure that one day Robbie would become a great woman. Robbie said to her teacher, "God willing, I will become a doctor." The teacher replied, "God wills that. I know, because He has given you all the abilities that a successful doctor should have." Robbie went home and showed her mother the prize. Robbie's mother was happy too, but her father didn't seem very happy about it. Robbie's father was a drunkard. Her mother had to pay for her education. Financially, she made ends meet by doing needlework. Besides going to school, Robbie also helped her mother with household chores and with needlework. Years passed, and Robbie eventually made it to grade 9. One night, Robbie's father said to her mother, "Robbie has now grown up." Her mother said to him, "No, she is still young. But why do you say that?" He said, Now Robbie won't need to go to school anymore." Her mother said, "No, she still has to study. She wants to be a doctor." "A doctor? Impossible," he said. "She is the most clever girl in the class. Why can't she be a doctor?" asked her mother. Her father replied, "Because the time has come for her to go to her real home." "Are you thinking about Robbie's marriage? She is still too young," she said. "Well, sooner or later she has to go. The sooner the better," said Robbie's father. He added further, "I have already talked to my old friend. He has a son who works in the fields. That will be better for her. I don't want to talk about it any more. That's final." In the morning, when Robbie was getting ready to go to school, her mother said to her, "Stay at home today." Robbie said, "Why, dear mother?" She said, "I have a lot of work today, and I want you to help me." Robbie said, "All right, if you say so, I'm not going." So on that day, her mother told her that her father was going to get her married. Robbie's heart was torn to pieces. Her mother said to her, "It is inevitable. I can do nothing, nor can you refuse. If we go against your father's will, we will both be in trouble. So it is better to be quiet and endure." Robbie's dreams were shattered. She felt a storm inside her, and she wanted to cry so loudly that her voice would break the sky. She fell asleep, weeping and sobbing. In a few days, Robbie's father married her off. Now, she wandered aimlessly through life as if she were already dead. True to his nature, the man closed one more chapter of injustice with Robbie. I wonder how many Robbies will yet be killed, sold and kidnapped, etc. That so-called civilized man should know that the woman is also a human. She breathes the same way as he does. Her heart beats as his, and like him, she has emotions too. Let her live her life.
Hi there, my name's Joe Todd, and I wanted to talk a little bit about a book I just read. The author here is Rizwan Ahmed Memon, and it's called One More Chapter of Injustice. And, I've known this man a short time, and I really feel his passion for helping women everywhere. I mean, you got to read this guy's material. I mean, it's really putting it in perspective for me. We're in an age and a time of such great advancements in human nature, in technology, in how we connect worldwide, and we still have these injustices. And I can't believe that they still exist. And if we don't stand up for each other, if you don't stand up for these girls, and if this author didn't stand up for these girls, who will? And what's going to happen? What is going to happen when you need someone to stand up for you? Is there going to be anyone there for you? This man is a pioneer. Pakistan. These places are still not allowing women the basic human rights. They can't even marry who they want to marry. There's something so sacred and so very powerful about a union between a man and a woman. The things they can accomplish together. The children that they raise them right. What they can accomplish in life. There's nothing more powerful. So if you have some views on women that they need to be married off to the rich, married off to connect two families, and this old way of thinking, I encourage you to rethink that way of thinking. Because what are we stifling here? It's not just, it has a lot to do with love. There's also something called free will. And then what are we stifling? What are we preventing from letting these people marry who they want to marry, who they're meant to marry? I don't even want to think about what we're stifling, what we're stopping, what we're preventing. Rethink it. That's what this story made me do. Even though my views are very, very modern and pro-women, pro-choice, it still made me think. It made me want to go hug my wife and all the girls in my life and just be grateful for them. And to make sure that I do my part for women everywhere. I'm Joe Todd. I just wanted to give you my opinion on this story I just read.
Dear friends, I hope you enjoyed today's story and learned a lot of things about this grave issue that's part of our society. I hope you would try to raise voice against it. You can nowadays social media has given power to every common person. You can write about this issue on social media, and maybe you can aware people in your neighborhood that this practice now must be stopped. It's no way helping children. It's something clipping the wings of children, so they are out of school at an early age and they can't grow according to their wishes. So this is something we must think about, and I hope that today's story will compel you to think about this issue and do something about it. Until next time, goodbye and happy studies.